Thanks to those joining me live and to those that will be joining me on archive. If you're watching an archive, leave a comment and tell me what you think. Feel free to leave comments for the next Q&A so I can go over those. What I'll be doing is every Thursday, DStyle will be coming on live around this time. And DStyle will be we'll be talking in third person apparently. And we'll be answering first the archive questions from the last Q&A. So whatever questions you have, go ahead and post them on there, okay, if you're watching on archive. For those listening live, the chat is open. I'll be bringing up the chat momentarily so we could see it. Everybody watching archive could see it on the screen. I don't know how long this will take. These aren't scheduled. This could take 10 minutes. It could take an hour. Who knows? Who knows how long DStyle will be on, right? But if you have any questions, leave them in the chat, all right? We could, boxing related, please, all right? You can ask some off-topic stuff I've talked about. I'll touch on them briefly, but let's try to keep it 90% boxing. How about that? 90 to 95% boxing, all right? Anyway, Malignaggi tweeted out that apparently that he knows Al Haymon, he is his advisor, by the way, as well, just like Mayweather, right? Has reached out to Dana White. He's already reached out about the potential grudge match of Malignaggi and Conor McGregor, right? Now, for those that don't know, Malignaggi is still tweeting about Conor McGregor. This October 12th, as I do this video, okay, 11:14 Mountain Time. That's 1:14. That's October 13th Eastern Time, and Malignaggi is still talking about Conor McGregor. But that's astonishing to me, right? That's unbelievable. Like he really wants that fight, apparently. But if it is true that they're in talks, I will say this. I mean, Conor's been kind of silent. I mean, Ferguson just won the lightweight title over there in the UFC. For those that don't know and only really watch boxing or just casual fans, lightweight at UFC is 155 pounds, just 1 pound north of 154 pounds in boxing, which is super welterweight or junior middleweight or light middleweight, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Because we give every weight class a bunch of names apparently in boxing, right? Depending on the sanctioning body, depending on the website, depending on the rankings list. But anyway, right? It used to be depending on the magazine, right? Which isn't that amazing? Like everybody just wants to give different names, But anyway, what do I think about that? What does DStyle think about that? DStyle, you don't understand. That fight can't happen. Let me tell you something. I'm the first person I know of. I really am. And I have the video evidence to prove it. And we can, so somebody could contest I said it first. That's fine. Maybe somebody did say it first. But I'm the first person I know of that said Malignaggi versus Conor McGregor has an excellent chance of happening after the Mayweather fight. That's what I said. Right? No, that fight ain't gonna. I was one of the first people that said the fight was gonna happen. Okay? I was one of the first people that said that. All right? So, will it happen? Do I want it to happen? Not necessarily. Okay? I'm not gonna protest the fact if it happens. I'm not. I will say this. I will say the following though. Where is the unedited version of that sparring footage? Where's it at? All I heard was we can't release the footage right now. Mayweather's going to see it and study it and use it to beat us, right? Okay, fine. Now, where is it now? Are we still editing it or what? Where's the footage? I want to see the unedited footage. Let's see it. I'm hearing two sides of the story. There's only one way to settle it, folks. Let's see the unedited version, right? Let's see I just want to see. I'm just curious. I'm going to enjoy it either way. Either Connor's a liar, Paulie's a liar, and I'll enjoy it either way. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn. All right? Has Al Haymon reached out? I mean, has he done this? Do we believe Paulie Malignaggi? Should we believe this guy? I don't know. I can't say that. I can't say that. Grape Drank 666 says McGregor would beat Paulie's ass. And he follows up. This is in the chat. It would be a bad look for boxing. Would it be a bad look for boxing if Conor McGregor whooped Paulie Malignaggi's ass? Or just won? Well, let's analyze this. Let's first talk about whether it's possible. Is it possible that McGregor could beat Paulie Malignaggi? Well, first of all, I want to see the sparring footage. All right, it's kind of suspect to me that they never released the sparring footage. It just is, because they said after the fight they would do it. Right? I forgot where I read that, but I read that somewhere. So I gotta probably find that, but maybe that's revisionist memory of mine. But for my understanding, my belief is they had said they would release it afterwards. Okay. And not only that, they made some extraordinary claims, like Dana White did. Okay, now Dana White has been known to exaggerate things. Now, Paulie Malignaggi is years removed from his prime. We all know that. And even in his prime, Paulie Malignaggi, while a good fighter, wasn't exactly an elite fighter, right? Paulie Malignaggi was a title holder in 2 weight classes, but was always known as the weakest link when he did have titles. He is one of those fighters that definitely benefited from the era of so many weight classes and so many titles per weight class. Paulie Malignaggi is a beneficiary of that. Okay, there's no doubt about that. If this was a one limited weight class or even one title per weight class era, there's no way Paulie would even be a top 5 fighter at any point of his career, much less a title holder. Right? Or champion, I should say. Now, that's not to say that Paulie was a bad fighter, as I said, but he was definitely, even in his prime, wasn't known as his world beater. Right? Now, with that aside, he's obviously removed from his prime. He's taken some beatings. He's been stopped several times, mostly by some elite fighters like Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. But the fight against Eggington, more than anything, which was a competitive fight, but he got stopped in that fight, was very telling to me because I'm not very high in Eggington, right? And not only that, Paulie has been commentating. He announced retirement before this McGregor thing really blew up. And a fighter that announced his retirement, okay, it usually means that the guy is done, finished, okay? If the fight were to happen, the fight would be happening in the year 2018. Okay, let's add some more stuff to it. Okay, if the fight were to happen, there's no way, none, that the fight happens at 147. None. Number one, I don't even know if Paulie can make that weight anymore in 2018. Let's say he can. It doesn't matter. Conor McGregor is not going to fight him at 147. I don't think Conor can make that weight. And looking at the weigh-in against Mayweather, he barely made 154. So I believe the fight would either happen at 154, might even happen at a catch weight, maybe 155, 156, right? Conor McGregor is a much bigger guy than Paulie Malignaggi, okay? Paulie's not that big of a guy. He's a little dude, right? And so there would be a big size advantage. I'm talking a 20-pound difference on fight night in favor of Conor McGregor. Okay, he's just a physically much bigger guy. Now, with all that said, I'm not as confident as some people are that Conor McGregor would beat Paulie, even given the fact that he's way past his prime. He would be outsized, and Paulie will be fighting at a weight class he's never fought in, and all those factors in. I honestly think it would be a great fight. Okay, running enough. I think it would be a good fight. I think it would be an exciting fight. I'm not that confident that Conor beats Paulie, but I'm not saying he can't. You know, I do believe the fight could sell. I think it has the ingredients to sell. Once people hear the press conferences, say what you want about Paulie, but Paulie is actually very witty. Paulie's really good on the mic. Okay, he's a commentator on Showtime, but like talking shit, he's very good at it. Right? You're going to see a lot of that at the press conference. That's going to go viral all over Facebook and Twitter and all that. I think the fight sells, and I think it is possible that the fight could happen because, honestly, looking at the boxing landscape, what other fighter can McGregor fight, and this is in boxing specifically, that it's going to make that much money with the less risk possible? I mean, Paulie is not a big puncher, and again, he's gonna have a big size advantage over him, right? It's a guy that's been knocked out several times towards the tail end of his career, so way past his prime. This fight for Conor is for Conor. I mean, it's what Conor wants, you know. Conor's like, hell yeah, but I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you this, and I'll say this, and I'll say it very, very seriously. Conor McGregor, okay, will not get in the ring with Eris Landilara. Okay, he's not going to get in the ring with an Andrade. He's not going to get in the ring with any legitimate top 10, 154-pounder. He ain't going to do it. He definitely ain't going to get in the ring with no legitimate 160-pounder. He's just not. He will get slept. Okay, he would get absolutely destroyed, right? And those fights just wouldn't sell as much as this Paulie Malignaggi fight because of the history of the fight. Now the question is the following. Can Conor make more money fighting Paulie Malignaggi than he can fighting Nate Diaz? Well, I think the Nate Diaz fight sells more. The Nate Diaz fight could potentially do $2 million. I know. I feel it'll even break the all-time, at least 1.9, 1.8 all-time UFC record. I think against Ferguson, I think that fight does pretty good too. I think he could do 1.5 million against Ferguson. Okay. Against Paulie, the fight probably does around $1 million, maybe $1.2 million, something like that. Okay. So then people will ask, well, then why the hell would he fight Paulie? Well, because if you fight Paulie, that's not your sport. So if you lose, you make that money, and then you could still do Nate Diaz fight. You could still fight Ferguson. You could still go back to the UFC and fight there, right? If you win, hey, you beat a former world champion. Your stock goes up, okay? It will. I'm telling you. Conor, he beat a former world champion in boxing at his own game. His stock will go up, okay? If he loses, I didn't even in the sport. Man, if this was a real fight, like in the UFC, it wouldn't last 1 minute, and then he could go back to the UFC. Furthermore, okay? On top of that, with the Paulie fight, I believe it sells less. It might do equal to the Ferguson fight, to be honest with you. But he gets a bigger share of the money, okay? He gets to dictate, without the UFC's involvement, how much money he makes. What's the lion's share that he makes, okay? He just has more involvement in that. Now, even if Conor doesn't fight Paulie, he's still going to, it will be to his benefit to have his manager negotiate with Paul Haymon. It would be to his benefit. But why? Because you could use that as what? As leverage, okay, against the UFC. The UFC, because of the Ali Act, they can't do anything. They can't do nada, nothing. They can't do anything about Conor McGregor going to have a boxing fight, right? So it's a perfect fight to use as leverage against Dana White, right? I want this fight. No, you got to fight this guy. Okay, fine. I'll go fight Paulie Malignaggi. I'll go do, $20 million fighting Paulie Malignaggi, right? I don't need you, right? Or whatever the amount is that they could make, right? So at the end of the day, this fight, this Paulie thing ain't going to go away for a while. For at least a year, we're going to at the very least, hear rumors of a Paulie Malignaggi fight lurking. Because Paulie obviously has not stopped talking about Conor. He's like a jealous old girlfriend, like a jealous ex, right? The dude is obsessed. He is obsessed, all right? He is obsessed to no end. This dude's obsessed, all right? And of course, McGregor could use it as leverage to hold it over Dana White's head. All right? Let's read some more comments. Grape Track 66, Paul's big mouth led him to big fights, not his skills. Well, he definitely always had a big mouth. He had some skills. Skillful fighter. Let's be honest. If Paulie Malignaggi had punching power, you never know. We might be putting him up there with some top name fighters, but he didn't have punching power. Like that was always Paulie's biggest downfall. Also, horrible upper body movement. Not the best at that. He had quick feet, but when guys figured that out, or they could keep up with his footwork, I mean, he was always toast. That's why Khan destroyed him. That's why Haddon destroyed him. A lot of guys handled him because of that. Okay, Great Drag 66 follows up. McGregor, Conlon, and Frampton triple team battle against Anthony Joshua. Wow. Well, what is that, like a WWE event? Mr. Doc, LOL, Paulie Haymon. Some of the stuff Al's accused of is straight out of pro wrestling. Paul Heyman, I got you. Yeah. It's sometimes you think it's Paul Heyman, not Al Heyman. Okay, I think I got that one. I think I got it, Doc. I think I did. Maybe it went over my head, but I think I got it. You could tell me if I got it or not. But if it went over my head, it is what it is. All right, anyway. For those watching live, make sure you thumbs up the video. Now, can someone tell me, can someone explain to DStyle, all right? Please, do me a favor. Explain this to me. Why on earth? Okay, Mr. Doc said I got it. Good. Good. I'm looking for the giant OG cell phone, he says. Oh, yeah, I remember that shit. I remember that. Let me bring up the chat here. All right. There we go. All right, guys. By the way, if you have any questions, shoot them. Put them in the chat. All right. Again, if you're watching archive, put questions. We'll follow up with them on the next QA next Thursday. We'll make sure we answer those questions. Okay? And if I don't, call me out on it. Just send me a private message, whatever it is. All right? Look, man. Back to what I was going to ask. Can somebody explain to me what all these rumors about Conor McGregor going to the UFC, to the WWE are about? This is not the time for Conor McGregor to be making WWE ventures, okay? From my understanding, the WWE has offered Conor McGregor a lucrative deal. I have no idea what is Conor going to be doing in the WWE ring? Like, what is he going to do? Okay, is he going to do a frog splash? Okay, is that what he's going to do? Is he going to be in a Hell in a Cell match against Shane McMahon? All right? Is he going to throw himself off a 20-foot, steel structure? Like, what is he going to do? Like throw himself on a flaming table? Like, what I don't know. To me, this whole thing with Conor McGregor going to pro wrestling doesn't make sense. Okay, I know. Mayweather did it. Okay, he did. That's true, actually. Mayweather did do it, right? Floyd Mayweather Jr. Beat the Big Show. Yeah, he beat the Big Show at WrestleMania 24. I forgot what WrestleMania was, but he definitely beat the Big Show. So maybe I can't say that. I mean, maybe Conor can do some type of WWE, thing. Maybe he could do some. Mr. Doc says, I haven't heard about it, but I could see him in pro wrestling before the UFC ever again. Well, if you see that, hopefully it's a one-time thing like Mayweather did, right? But it's I don't know. I hope it's not like some contract where he's kind of with them for a while, and But hey, I digress. Okay, UFC problems, and how about the UFC? It's starting to have the same type of problems that boxing has had over the years. More and more fighters. Oh, that fight doesn't make sense for me. I'm not going to fight nobody for no money. If it don't make money, it don't make sense, right? Like fighters are just talking big, right? More and more fighters, demanding more money. More and more fighters being vocal, obviously, right? More and more fighters declining fights. More and more fighters, starting to educate themselves about what the Ali Act is and why do boxers have certain rights but we don't, right? Like they're starting to notice a lot of this stuff. And I have some news for MMA fans. If the Ali Act, well, here's the question, and that's the question I'll pose, right? So how about this? Not just MMA fans, everybody. Should the Ali Act apply, right? All those boxer protections, right? Should it apply to MMA fighters? Should it apply to mixed martial artists? They are sanctioned by boxing commissions. For those that don't know, that's what sanctions MMA, right? Our existing boxing commissions made MMA possible as a sport, for those that don't know, right? But should the Ali Act apply to mixed martial artists? Now, before you say yes or no, keep in mind that if the Ali Act were to ever apply to mixed martial artists, RIP UFC. Or at least RIP UFC as we know it, right? That means that no longer would the UFC be able to be both a promoter and literally a sanctioning body, right? You ever wonder why fighters don't fight for the top rank world championship or a Golden Boy world championship? You ever wonder that? The promoter, the UFC, is both the promoter and they hand out the belts. Sanctioning bodies would have to be independent, so the promoter doesn't control the rankings, which the UFC does right now. If the UFC doesn't grant someone a title shot, nobody could sue the UFC. The UFC can call any fight an interim title fight. It doesn't have to make logical sense. They just have to do it. The UFC isn't forced to call anybody number one contender. Yes, you could do the rankings, and I'm not saying they don't do it the best they can. That's another discussion, but and someone who knows more about MMA could answer that. But I don't know of specific situations, but I do know that overall the UFC will cut guys that are deemed, not entertaining, and if you're not quote unquote entertaining enough, maybe you shouldn't get a title shot, et cetera, et cetera. If the UFC strips a champion of a belt, the champion really doesn't have any rights. They can't, go appeal it in court or something like that. They can't do that. Now one could say, well, the UFC's behaved. They don't need to be forced to do this. They're doing a great job right now. Well, you know, they're having success, but the guys that go into the cage and put their lives on the line, those guys feel like, hey, I want rights too. I want rights too. Should the Ali Act apply to MMA fighters? What would happen overnight? Well, first, I don't know if it would be overnight. I don't know if there would be like a grace period or something. I don't know, right? I have no idea. By the way, Mr. Doc, if you want to come on, let me know. I'll get you on here. Let's read some more comments. Grape Drank 66. Conor will be demanding a lot more money from here on out from the UFC. Good point. Mr. Doc says, I'm not saying it's a good idea per se, but I just don't think McGregor is going to fight for Dana again unless the pay scale changes drastically. All right? And Mr. Doc says, exactly to Grape Drank regarding Conor McGregor demanding more money from here on out. Grape Drank 666 says, MMA fighters are getting pimped by Dana White. At least in boxing, you have much more freedom. Mr. Doc says, well, fundamentally, it is under the jurisdiction of boxing commissions. Should it not be set commission's rules? This style, you can imagine the UFC had to deal with the 4 main boxing sanctioning bodies with regards to championships. If the UFC had to deal with 4, I mean, first of all, it wouldn't be UFC anymore. It would be mixed martial arts. It would be MMA. The UFC will instantly become a promoter. That's what the UFC would become. They will no longer be allowed to have they will need someone to sanction their fights for titles. I mean, that's just the reality. And whoever that sanctioning body is, you're going to have to give them a percentage. I mean, you know the WBC will jump on that shit quick, too. Dana! We from the WBC. We always been good. I got the WBC UFC title. Look at this, Dana. Hey! I'm doing the Mexican voice because it's easy to do because I'm Mexican and you know, Jose Sulaiman's Mexican. Get it? Anyway, NBT Boxing, what's up, bro? By the way, let me just share this once and for all. And let me get this shit on the air. All right, there we go. Let me know if you guys can see that. If you guys, someone say, yeah, I'm good, right? If you could see the chat on the screen, let me know. Too lazy to look at my phone. Check. Mr. Doc says, LOL. WBA interim UFC heavyweight title. The MMA BA. It'll be something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they'll get cozy with Dana White quick. Man, they'll get cozy so quick. It ain't even funny, man. I'm telling you right now. Like, they're already existing. They're already existing sanctioned body. They got this shit down, right? It would be interesting. Look, the UFC ain't going to go down without a fight. Okay, I'm telling people that right now. They're not going down without a fight. Now, the one thing they do have, the UFC, they have a lot of these guys under contracts, okay? They got these guys in their contract. So what will be interesting is if, like, ironically, I don't know the ins and outs. I haven't read the Ali Act in forever. And if it's been reformed, I wouldn't know about it much anyway. But if anybody wants to correct me, go ahead. Ironically, since the Ali Act does not pertain to the UFC or / MMA, right? So it does not apply to that. Because of that, someone like a Conor McGregor could go fight or box, Paulie Malignaggi, right? And there's nothing the UFC could do about it because he's protected under the Ali Act, right? But we know that boxers, if you're signed with one fighter, and it's happened a lot with guys signed with Don King, they can't just go box somewhere else because that promoter could sue them for every dime they make, okay? Or it just depends on the contract that they sign. If the Ali Act were to pertain to the UFC, would an MMA fighter have open jurisdiction to go ahead and go to the boxing now? To say it applies to them as well? Or would the contract no longer be null and void, ironically, right? But it would actually not be null and void. It would actually apply just like it does in boxing today. See, that's where the tricky part is. Details. All right, let me missing some stuff here. Hold on. MBT saying what's cracking. What's good, MBT, says Great Frank. MBT boxing, same old, bro. How's the shredding going? Okay. J Drag saying 3 more pounds to go. These guys are talking about the gym. All right. You guys should get a hold of Luis Ortiz. I think Luis Ortiz needs some help, okay? Without having to use blood pressure medicine. Okay, anyway. All right. Okay, like WBC silver UFC title. Grape Trank 66. What's up with everyone saying the UFC is so much more exciting than boxing? I just don't see it. We'll address that. Ticket TV says D-Style. What's up? Shout out to Ticket TV. Mr. Doc says, would Dana become a promoter or an advisor? Interesting take, Mr. Doc. Maybe you should come on here and we can talk about it. All right, MBT Boxing. I fell asleep on any live main event in any sport except for Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. Well, I was in the main event, so it looks like you missed a lot of the event. So didn't Miesha Tate fight, what's that girl's name? That Brazilian chick. Somebody put it in the chat. I forgot her name. Nunes. I guess you missed 2 fights. All right, so first of all, WBC silver title. That's hilarious. All right. Let's address Grape Drank 66 question. What's with everybody saying the UFC is much more exciting than boxing? Well, it comes down to opinion, obviously. Okay. But I obviously don't agree. Now, it's not uniform. Like, not every boxing fight, in my opinion, right? Not every boxing fight's better than every MMA fight. And even if you think MMA is more exciting, not every MMA fight is better than every boxing fight, right? At the end of the day, it really comes down to the fight. But to me, and maybe I'm biased because I grew up with boxing, and I know what boxing at its finest looks like, right? To me, boxing is far more exciting. It's the element of forcing 2 guys. That's what boxing is. It's forcing 2 individuals, right, to stand up and fight. That's literally what it is. And if you know the history of boxing, it evolved into that. Boxing used to be like, early UFC where everything was allowed. And little by little, crowds were booing when it was going to the ground. Crowds were getting tired of that shit. Crowds didn't like seeing the kicking, right? Especially since they had like still toes at the time. Okay, that's one of the reasons you don't see kicking in boxing today. They outlawed all these things. So every time you hear somebody say, oh, no, but boxing, I don't like boxing. Boxing sucks. They don't allow kicking and screaming and well, not screaming. I'm stealing Ray Mercer's. Shout out to Ray Mercer, by the way. Shout out to him. The MMA chant, because he knocked out Tim Silva in an MMA promotion. I don't think they ever called him the MMA champ, but anyway, he said, yeah, we don't do kicking and screaming and anyway. But anyway, yeah, well, duh, because boxing outlawed it. They made it against the rules. That's why nobody knees, and that's why they don't go to the ground in boxing, okay? Because boxing decided over 100 years ago that we're not going to allow that. You're going to stand up and you're going to fight with your fists. That's actually the whole point. That's actually the whole point. That's the whole point of the sport, right? So that's how boxing came to be. And if you watch MMA today, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest now, right? More often than not, the best fights are the ones where they're standing up and fighting, right? When they're fighting on the stand-up. Now, I'm not saying there's no MMA purists that love it when they go to the ground. And I'm not saying there's no Joe Rogans that love the jiu-jitsu and all that. And I'm not saying that shit takes a lot of skill. I'm not taking anything away from that. But that's not what people want to see. If it was, every high school gymnasium would be packed, okay, when there's a high school wrestling match. Let me tell you, folks, okay? I know this. Okay, wrestling high school gymnasiums don't get packed, right? Anyway. And MBT Boxing said he missed 2 fights after paying $49.95. Is that how much it was? That's a low-ass price. What you getting, standard definition or something? Or that's just how, I've never actually, fact about these stuff, I've never bought a UFC. I've never bought a UFC pay-per-view, ever. I've gone to see them at other people's houses. I've gone to bars to see it. I've never actually bought a UFC fight, so I don't know how much the fights cost. Are they really that cheap? Okay. Or are you in a different country? You need to elaborate a little bit here, NBT Boxing. Yeah, you got some explaining to do. Okay, Gorguruga. Malignaggi versus McGregor will be good entertainment, I think. The build-up would be hilarious. I agree. I think it would be good for TV. And Malignaggi is a vet. Got the nice guy retirement payday. Get the nice guy retirement payday. Well, he'll get paid, that's for sure. The question is, if he were to get his ass whooped. Now, a lot of people are saying it would make boxing look bad. I don't really agree because Paulie, it's understood that Paulie was never a top fighter. And I know they'll gloss over all that, but and we know he's been past his prime, right? It would make Paulie look real bad. It's what I believe. It would make Paulie look really bad, right? And anybody Paulie beat will be like, what the fuck? Can you imagine fucking Zab Judah? Like, holy shit. Anyway. MBT Boxing follows up. Paulie can't retire and a KO win like Floyd. Look, Paulie can beat McGregor. It is possible, right? It really is. I don't know. I can't really see Paulie knocking anybody out, though. I can't. Maybe a TKO, you know? Maybe that. Maybe. Mr. Doc, in my opinion, UFC's advantage is accessibility and the fights the fans want happening more often, but it can't touch boxing at its best. Well said, Mr. Doc. All right, NBT Boxing in Australia. Yes, okay, Australia. There we go. That's AU dollars. 2, which is around 36 US. Holy shit, it's even less. We pay usually less than half the pay-per-view prices you guys pay in America. Well, damn. All right, I think Paulie can stop McGregor, and he thinks by TKO. All right, there we go. Possible. Paulie can win from exhaustion, says Man in Water. All right, what's up, bro? Gorguruga. Paulie would beat McGregor seemingly easier than even Floyd did because he won't go toe-to-toe. He'll just outbox him. Well, it is possible he'll just stick to a game plan and go from there. Also, Paulie will get in shape. Like, he'll actually have a six-pack and stuff. Okay, he's not going to have like the love handles and, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's going to be facing somebody. And not only that, I honestly believe that Floyd took it pretty easy on Conor. And where Paulie's going to take it very serious. So you know, there's that separation there for sure. And Garuga says, or he follows up, Floyd made that fight entertaining by going toe-to-toe on purpose. NBT Boxing says exactly to Man and Water about his statement. Man and Water says, what's up, D-Style? All right, great drag. McGregor will eat Connor's punches like a snack. Right? I mean, well, he's going to have to eat them. I don't think he has a choice. There's no doubt in my mind Paul's going to land punches on McGregor. Right? That's the thing. There's no doubt. But is he going to win? I don't know. I want to see the fight. Like, call me crazy. Maybe not next or anything like that. But then again, if it's not next, then when, I guess. But I would rather McGregor go to UFC, have a fight there, and then box Paulie, but we'll see. Okay? I've also seen other headlines in a way. I didn't go and read the stories, but of like McGregor's people saying he's not done with boxing, and how much is that is leverage against the UFC? How much is that being serious? I don't know. It seems to me like the UFC created a monster by letting this man go box, right? If the UFC would have put their foot down and told Conor McGregor, no, you're under contract, you can't go box Floyd Mayweather, right? How would it have gone for them? I don't know. But if they would have been successful in making a fight in the UFC, right, they wouldn't have this problem right now. They wouldn't have this problem. In fact, there's been some people in the grapevine saying that, and there's a logical kind of explanation regarding Dana White was not in favor of this fight. He did not want this fight to happen, right? So there you go. NBT Boxing, well, first, Great Drag says, Paulie. Oh, that's right. He did put McGregor with Connor's punches. But yeah. Either way, I understood what he meant. I understood what you meant, Paulie. Okay, you can flick McGregor after 8 rounds, though, Great Drag. All right? NBT Boxing follows up. They have odds up, and McGregor is the slightest favorite over Paulie, and is even money against Jeff Horn. LOL. No love for Horny. Interesting. Boxing fan is in the building. Quote, you don't understand this style. McGregor went easy on Floyd just to get Paulie in the ring. LOL to boxing fan. I think he meant this in D-Style's voice, okay? But D-Style, you don't understand. McGregor went easy on Floyd just to get Paulie in the ring. Right. Now, wouldn't it make more sense if he would have just knocked out Floyd? You know, then he could get anybody in the ring, right? Anyway. Tell D-Style, what else doesn't D-Style understand, right? Please, tell me. Horn makes easy work of McGregor's man in water. That is a mismatch. Horn will whoop McGregor's ass, okay? He would whoop his ass. And you know what? The odd makers know that, but the odd makers have to kind of leverage it between how many people will bid. A bunch of delusional Conor McGregor fans and casual fans that think McGregor really did better than what he really did, okay, against Mayweather, are going to bet for Conor anyway. So if let's say he fights with Jeff Horn, why would you make it like 6-1 odds, which is more accurate? Okay, why would you do that if they're gonna bet it anyway? Might as well make it even, right? In case he does win, you don't lose a lot of money, right? Why take the risk? There's no reason for them to take the risk. So odds don't always show as reality. Okay, sometimes it has to do with the public perception, right? And how the public will bet. Okay, that's basically what that is. In the very end, we all know that Conor McGregor was less of an underdog against Floyd than Broner was against Garcia, right? That's because a lot of people were betting. A lot of people were betting. Horn would bully him, says Man in Water. He would, in a boxing ring, Jeff Horn easily dismantles McGregor. There's no doubt in my mind. McGregor versus Charlie Z would be a war, says Great Grand 66. I mean, that's epic proportions. I actually think McGregor knocks him out in a couple seconds, but that's not here nor there. Then that dude, Charlie Z, is he's got some mental problems, man. I think he's not there. He's not all there. He's just not. He needs some help. I will say that. Someone, MBT Boxing called it a 4-round fight. I believe he's referring to McGregor against Horn. But DStyle, you don't understand. Jeff the Hornet Horn is the best welterweight in the world. Yeah, right. I don't know about that. Okay, I don't know about that. Mr. Doc says, DStyle, you don't understand. Deontay Wilder wins the NSA. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, holy shit, Deontay Wilder can't even get 2 million people to watch his fights on TV. But he runs everything, though. Like, he runs the WBC, he runs VADA, he runs, I mean, they just, when Deontay Wilder walks down the street, everybody just throws rose petals to his feet. Okay? Just walks down the street, they just throw rose petals to his feet. Right? Jeff Horn is boxing, MMA, same shit. Why? Because he was doing some MMA moves in Pacquiao. What? MBT Boxing, so true. McGregor was the shortest odds against Mayweather in 7 years apart from Pacquiao and Canelo. That's how delusional McGregor fans are. Well, you know what, though? Vegas made a lot of money, buddies. They made a lot of money. Mr. Doc, Great Rant, 66. The Wilder versus Charlie Z rematch would entertain me more than the Stavern rematch. Well, it would, because Charlie Z is hilarious, but he still needs help, though. I know that. When I saw that video, I remember the first time I saw it, holy shit. Please, God, if he landed it, I know he hit Charlie Z a couple times. He really didn't hit him that hard. I mean, he hit him hard, but he didn't, like, put everything he had in those shots. He could have hurt Charlie Z. And honestly, Wilder could have ended up in jail, right? So I'm glad that didn't happen. Man in Water, Charlie Z schooled Wilder in sparring. Oh, really? MBT Boxing, Charlie Z lost to a dude with a 1-26 record. His dad paid the dude to have a rematch with him, and Charlie Z sucker punched him before the fight started, and his dad bitch slapped him. Who did the dad bitch slap? Can you tell me? Great Grand 66. I was surprised he took Wilder's shot so well. Those were just arm punches that Wilder threw at him. But MT Boxing, Wilder wasn't going in on Charlie Z, just trying to teach him a lesson. Well, you know, I was so nervous when I was watching that shit. I was like, if he puts any leverage in one of those shots, he's going to hurt this kid. Okay? And he's going to be all over the headlines. Boxing champion, Deontay Wilder. I don't know if he was a champion at the time, but anyway. Boxing heavyweight, Deontay Wilder assaults mentally challenged kid. Like, that shit would be all over the news. All right? All over the news. Man of Water says the skull is solid bone. Talking about Charlie Z. Okay, NBT Boxing, same with Yusef Mack when he beat up that homophobic dude. Oh, really? Charlie Z's dad bitch slapped Charlie Z. Did he? He got bitch slapped by his own dad, like in front of everybody. Oh, man. Oh, man. That shit's hilarious. Anyway, I gotta see that shit. Like, all right, I watched the documentary last week. Great documentary. All right, I'll search that. That'll be on DStyle's much watch after tonight's Q&A. But anyway, but yeah, man, I was very, very nervous when I saw that video. I was like, holy shit! Please, please don't hurt this kid. NBT over under on low place versus Chocolatito. Now, interesting. Okay. All right. Mr. Doc, 25 seconds. Oh man. You guys got any questions for D-Style? How would the Aliac go? Like if the Aliac were to apply to MMA, it's very interesting how a lot of things would happen. I mean, short term and long term, it's something to think about. You really got to think about it. How would the sanctioning bodies be created? Who would run the sanctioning bodies? Like, would boxing sanctioning bodies jump on board? I mean, it's the number of things that can happen. The UFC will be the top promoter, right? It will be the top promoter, but make no mistake about it, the UFC will still have a stranglehold because they have all these fighters under contract. But once the contracts expire, it's done. And how many fighters will be inactive? Will it have a positive effect short term or a negative effect short term? Positive effect or negative term long term? Who knows? Boxing fan, do you think Mikey Garcia made the right choice by turning down the Cotto fight? I mean, you can say that. I mean, I do believe. I don't like the fact that he had to sign. Like, I'm not a fan of options. I never have been. Okay, so from my understanding, and if I'm wrong about anything, correct me. But from my understanding, he had to sign a contract to not only fight Cotto, but then sign for multiple fights afterwards with Golden Boy Promotions. I don't know about that. Who wins, Trout versus Hurt and Bobby Charlo versus Lubin? I got Bobby Charlo. I'm not too sure, man. I'm biased when it comes to Trout. Southwest stand up. Okay, Mr. Doctor. Southwest stand up. That's my opinion. But he's from Las Cruces, New Mexico. While Trout is a Christian, the reason he has the 3 crosses on his trunks is not because he's a Christian. Although he is a Christian, I know that's weird to say, but it's because he's from Las Cruces, okay, which is the city of the crosses. But I got hurt, even though I don't want to say it, but I got hurt. But I wouldn't be shocked if Trout wins. I'll say that. Boxing fans, the WBO will jump the opportunity then the WBC. How do you determine that? How do you know that? Man in water, MMA will turn into boxing with politics and fanboys that protect their fighter because the opponent doesn't, quote unquote, bring enough money to the table. Man in water says Lara, Trout, and Charlo for the win. Grape Drang 66, what's up with the Lara fighting unknowns? His last minimal fight was against Canelo. Yeah. Mr. Doc, will the WBO grant Kathy Duvas wish and make Kovalev versus Shabransky a loser leaves town match for the WBO light heavyweight title? Well, I would love to see the loser leave town. Good wrestling reference there. Lara's a waste of talent, says Grape Drang 666. So to answer your question, why is he fighting unknowns? I don't know. Only Lara knows. I mean, it's, if we're honest, Lara doesn't have an appealing style to the casual fan, or it's not perceived to. So he needs to market himself to get fighters, to fight him. But that doesn't mean there's no competitive fights out there for him. He wouldn't fight the Shardos because they're homeboys and they train in the same freaking gym. Well, that's not cool, But I would like to see Lara fight a top 154 pounder for sure. Hell, I'm all for Lara versus GGG right now. We could do that fight now, shit. After seeing how Canelo did against him, it'll be very interesting to see how Lara could do against Gennady Golovkin. I don't think that's a squash match. A lot of people assumed it would be, right? Now, keep in mind that Canelo's strategy in that fight, that's what Lara does. Lara's a specialist at that. So keep that in mind. Waste of talent, well, I will say this. We'll see where it goes, but I saw a headline on Boxing Scene where Lara says that he's the 154-pound division, that he's what it's all about, right? And if you want to be the best, you got to fight him. Well, there you go. Boxing fans says apparently Golden Boy has a right to terminate your contract when they want to, but they also choose your management, and Mikey has Al Haymon, so that was an issue. Well, first of all, that's very, very strange. Are you sure about that? Now, maybe I'm outdated about this, but from my understanding, the Ali Act prohibits promoters from dictating who the manager, or actually, let me backtrack. You can't be a manager and a promoter at the same time. So would picking a manager for a fighter fall under the jurisdiction of the Ali Act? I'm not sure. Details. It sounds like some lawyer bullshit that they would have to go over. Mr. Doc is shaking his head. SMH, that's what it means. Because he can't explain it. Why Lara's a waste of talent. Mr. Doc still has dreams of Mayweather versus Lara, by the way. That's the one fight that he wished would have happened. You ask Mr. Doc, what's the one fight you wish would have happened? You're like, Lara versus Mayweather. Mr. Doc follows up. Other than Gasha being less bad than the clone of Yuri Foreman's corpse. Haplotype. Fuck Paulie. No one watch it. That's the answer. Well, there you go. Well, that's blunt. That's pretty blunt. What's up to Haplotype, by the way? Boxing fan. I don't like Andrade's chances at 160 versus top guys. Waste of his talent at 154. Andrade has the size. He has the size and the frame. He can do 160 without a problem. We'll see how Andrade, by the way. Andrade. It's Andrade, by the way. But they pronounce it Andrade. Fair enough. Grape Dragon 66. I hate how modern boxers are all buddy-buddy with one another. Right? What's with the buddy-buddy system? It's like, are they part of the Boy Scouts or are they are they competitors? What the fuck's going on? Adam. Mr. Doc says he gave up on Lara versus Floyd. His dreams were crushed. But he's clinging to Lara versus Golovkin. He's changed his delusions. Well, Lara Golovkin, I like to see that fight because the style matchup is there. You know what I mean? Stylistically, it's an exciting fight to watch because each guy is doing what they need to do. So it's interesting. You know what I mean? One's methodical, comes forward, and one's going to be on the back foot. And looking at the way the Canelo fight played out, I think the fight would work. I think it would be interesting. But Lara, of course, would have to move up to 160. So he's called him out, though. Lara called out Gennady Golovkin. I agree, Great Jank. Surely we can think of a better fight than Lara versus Floyd. Okay. I mean, I know one thing. Floyd was not going to go, hands low and walk towards Lara the way he did against McGregor. Okay. he would get lit up with left hands all day. All right. Floyd was going to, you know, be Floyd in the fight. It would be a very, let's just say, it wouldn't be the fight of the year. Okay, we'll just say that. Mr. Doc believes Lara beats the Golovkin at showed up versus Canelo. I like how Mr. Doc framed that too. I like how he framed that. I like how he's being bold, by the way. You're being very bold, Mr. Doc. You're going out on the limb. Yeah, because you're being real specific. The one that showed up against Canelo. So they fight, and you can say, well, that's not the one that showed up against Canelo. That was a different Gennady Golovkin. I caught that. All right, let's see here. Oh, those watching live, take a moment, thumbs up the video. All right. What are the questions you got, guys? What are the questions you got? Yeah, Doc. Way out of the exactly. By the way, one of the reasons I put the chat up during QAs is because it just makes it easier, right? So whoever's watching on archive kind of knows what the hell I'm talking about, right? All right, guys, it's getting late, so shoot me some questions. If there's no questions, then I'm going to wrap this up. I'll say that right now. It's getting late. Boxing fan says Dylan White overrated. Talks too much shit. But biggest win is versus Chisora and getting stopped by Joshua. Well, he got stopped by Joshua. Chisora win is solid. Is he overrated? Depends who you ask. Okay. I mean, a lot of people have been conveniently referring to Dylan White as this unbelievable machine. I mean, they make him sound like he's this terrifying force of nature. By the way, they're insinuating that Deontay Wilder's running scared of him, right? I mean, it's insane. So it depends who you ask. Gorguruga. What do you think about Sly Stallone directing Creed 2? First, I like Creed 1. I was a big fan of Creed 1, man. I really like that movie. And Creed 2, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, man. Stallone is a pretty good director. He is. But I will say this, though. The movies he directs, even the Rocky movies he directed, like look at Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, okay? They're very, what's the word for it? It's very, you know, actionist, you know? Like it's very, I'm trying to find the right word for it here. Superhero-ish, you know? I'll say that. A little unrealistic, you know. Can anybody beat, I cannot pronounce that shit, Usyk? In the world boxing, in the WBSS, how about that? Or is it just a matter of us performing? Usyk, I don't know. I'll say that. I don't know if anybody could beat him. I don't know. I'll just say that. I don't know. You're saying that he just has to. Does he just have to show up, just be himself, and he'll just win all the fights? Gorgaruga and Creed 2, apparently they are bringing Ivan Drago back because Creed wants to avenge the death of Apollo, which is his father. What? Isn't Ivan Drago like 90 years old? It's just insane, man. Like, it's kidding me. I don't even know what to say about that. I thought they were gonna bring back Drago and like how can I say it? While I think about that one, I do want to say this, man, about Usyk really quick. I remember seeing him in the Olympics. Very. It was with Ukraine. It was a year where the Ukraine did very, very well. I believe it was in. Was it not London? What was the Olympics before London? Anybody know in the chat the Olympics before London? I don't know. It could have been London, but it was a year where the Ukrainians did very, very well. It was a big year for them. So he's definitely a hell of a boxer, man. Hell of a boxer. Beijing, was it Beijing? Okay. 2000 Olympic. Okay, there you go. China. Who should Crawford fight next if it was up to me? Huh? I would have Crawford fight Mikey Garcia at 140 and then wrap it up at 140 and go 147 after that. That's what I would have him do. The king of welterweight division, Keith Thurman, is set to return in January. Rumored to fight Jesse Vargas. Good comeback fight. Or good comeback fight. The fact that we're talking about Keith Thurman making a comeback, I mean, that's insane. But to Keith Thurman, who, by the way, I still think that shit was hilarious. How he's over there sparring when he should be injured. But anyway, Jesse Vargas, Keith Thurman, I'm all for it. Let's get the fight on. I got Keith Thurman in that fight, but Vargas always comes to fight. Let's get it on. I say let's get it on. That's what I say. I do believe it was London, though, the Olympics. I'm confusing the year Lomachenko was there, but well, Lomachenko was also in Beijing. But anyway, Gorguruga, do you think Severn stand a chance in the Wilder rematch? And do you believe his story about being either chronically dehydrated or poisoned? What's with all these dudes, man? Like having these chronic diseases and blood pressure, high blood pressure, and or they're getting caught with stuff that is for heart patients, like Povekin, and like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I do believe that Stavern is just in a state of denial. That's what I believe. Okay, he's in a severe state of denial, Stavern. I'll just say that. He just doesn't want to admit he was beat by a better man, right? That's it. I've never been that high on Stavern, so I'm still trying to figure this Ivan Drago thing. What's up with Ivan Drago? That's like, what's going on with that? What do you mean Ivan Drago's going to fight Little Creed. What the fuck's up with that? It's like 90 years old. Is Dolph Lundgren still alive? Is that dude still alive? Can somebody confirm that for me? Like, look it up. Is he alive? By the way, for those that don't know, I know Google tore me down, but I had, damn, I don't know where I left the piece of paper, but I think I had it like 135 to 108 or some shit like that. Drago versus Balboa on the scorecards before the last round. Mr. Doc, Severn's excuse is worse than Ortiz's. I forgot to drink water. What? What? By the way, why the fuck is a heavyweight dehydrated? That's what I want to know. How the hell are you dehydrated as a heavyweight? Can somebody figure that one out? They couldn't put an answer for that on fucking Jeopardy. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, that's a good one. All right, boxing fan. He's laughing his ass off, by the way, guys. We'll see. Just like Shannon Briggs was taking whatever he was taking for asthma, he said. Like, yeah, all these dudes are sick all of a sudden. All these, like the heavyweight division, man. Like, is there an illness going on? Like, what the fuck's like? We got asthma, we got high blood pressure, heart medication, dehydration. I mean, what the fuck's going on with the heavyweight division? And I had a dude the other day tell me, "Oh, this heavyweight division is better than Tyson's era." Really? Like these dudes are all sick and shit. Kidding me? Anyway, here's the official description of Creed 2 on the IMDb site. Adonis Creed tries to seek revenge when he goes toe-to-toe with a man who killed his father. Wow. You know what would make the movie crazy? Like, this is what they should do, right? Let me read these comments first, and I'll tell you what they should do. Mr. Doc, Severn says he lost to Wilder because he didn't drink water. I'm making this shit up. Oh, I thought you were like, because he said dehydration, Doc. I thought you were like mocking him. You know, I thought you were parodying the guy. He literally said that? Did I forgot to drink water really come out of his mouth? Or do you mean like he said he was dehydrated, so then he was insinuating he didn't drink water? Because I refuse to believe that an individual said that. Gorgaruga, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago. Rumor? Like, who the fuck else is going to be Ivan Drago? Are they going to have another dude play Ivan Drago? You can't have another dude play Ivan Drago. Come on now. Michael B. Jordan will be Adonis Johnson or Adonis Creed. What's his ring name, right? That's his ring name. Johnson is his real. That's his real name and all that. Since Creed, I guess the mother never told anybody else is that. I forgot the story how that went. The mistress or whatever. Drago's first line: "I come in peace." So how about this? Get this, right? They're about to fight. Adonis Creed comes out to the song "Living in America," right? So he comes out to "Living in America" in dedication to his father, right? Living in America, right? You know, at that point, as a moviegoer, you know he's the underdogs right out of the gate. Like, you know, oh, this is done, right? What if Ivan Drago literally kills Adonis Creed? Kills him in the ring, right? Gorguga just updated us. Dolph Lundgren will be 60 November 3rd, which means he's still alive, right? Which should be about the age that Stallone was when he did Rocky Balboa, I guess. Right? Something like that. Or was he in his mid-50s, late 50s? Mr. Doc says, yeah, I know. I'm the only one who remembers that terrible movie. But here's the thing. And then Rocky starts training again to avenge Creed again, right? Which would be the most ridiculous shit ever, but that's what Rocky does, right? He always makes himself the star of the show. And maybe Drago could kill Rocky Balboa too. And then we do a movie called Drago after that. And Drago challenges Deontay Wilder for the championship. That's right. Okay? And then Drago pops dirty, right? And then after Drago pops dirty, a bunch of dudes will come on YouTube and blame Deontay Wilder. Anyway, Jesus Christ, man. That would be the movie, guys. That's the movie. Anyway, Drago. Like, just picture it. Picture it. Gorguga, what if Drago kills Rocky in a rematch, then Creed avenges his father and Rocky's death? That's a good one there. And then, but here's the thing. Drago has to pop dirty, right? And everybody will blame Adonis Creed. Like, it'll be his fault because he popped dirty. That plot twist needs to happen. You know, that they could have YouTubers on here like, no. The substance found on Drago was not really PED. It's only a PED in January and March. It's not a PED in February. I'm going to read a bunch of scientific mumble jumble that I don't even understand, but I'm going to read it so it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Mr. Doc, Drago, the Meldonium Saga. Oh man, that's a great fucking thing. Gorguga says Drago walking music will be riding dirty. Oh man. Maybe we could reverse it a little bit. Like, instead of like living in America, they could do like a living in Russia type like kind of song. And Drago's the one that's dancing this time. Right? And Creed's the one in the middle ring, all serious. Think about that twist. And Drago's the one with Russian shorts on too. Because back it was the Soviet Union, now it's Russia, right? So you can wear the Russian colors and stuff, right? And like, I don't know what type of music they listen in Russia, but they gotta have something you could dance to, right? Just saying, just think of the possibilities here. But Drago only had trace amounts of meldonium. He technically didn't fail the drug test. Just traces amounts. Because traces amounts of meldonium, they just pop up on your system for no particular reason, you know? Something tells me, though, like, in the movie Rocky IV, Ivan Drago is the villain, and everybody loves Creed, right? And Balboa. If Ivan Drago, if you were to put like that, if you were to take Ivan Drago from the movie, make him a real character, and put him in real life today, right? And then they called out like one of the fighters today. And murderous role right off the bat, right? Like, oh, Drago, he's murderous role, like, you know, right off the bat. they would put this guy in a murderous role immediately, literally, because he's murdering people, right? Drago just forgot he had high blood pressure. Can you picture Drago's wife like defending him? My husband has heart problems, and you're judging him. You Americans are so unfair. And then you know there'll be YouTubers coming on here and shit. Like you know they'll be coming on here like using his wife as like a source. By the way, I do want to say this though. Drago 2, Newton's murderous row. I do want to say this. Like everybody knows, if you ever see the movie though, the press really are dicks to Drago. Like it's when you go back and watch it, like damn, like they really are being a bunch of dicks. Like you know, like they're being some dicks here. Like holy shit. I would have to sing Clubber Lang versus Drago though. I ain't gonna lie. Is he still alive? I don't know. Somebody confirm for Mr. Doc if Nelson is still alive. Is she? Let's see. Let's find out. Yeah, but come on, man. You know, I'll tell you what. Okay? I'll say this. You know Drago's upgraded by now. Come on, you know that. Drago got some young meat already. You know that shit. Come on. All the money he made from the Balboa fight, Balboa didn't make any money. Drago took all the money, man. Balboa went to fight for free, bro. Like that was the biggest lion's share of all time. He made 100% of the money, right? Now it was communism, so he probably didn't make much. But anyway, Drago versus Povetkin, prime for prime. Who I got? I got Drago all day. Good jab. Keep him at bay. Povetkin didn't know what to do when like Klitschko would clinch him. You know, he didn't know what the fuck to do. What the fuck's he gonna do against Drago, man? The dude would do judo throws. It depends on the ref, okay? If the ref allows all that sambo judo shit that he was doing on Apollo Creed and Balboa, because you know he was doing that shit. He was doing like judo throws and sambo moves, and I mean he was doing MMA, okay? Like this dude was doing MMA literally and getting away with it, okay? In the fucking boxing ring. If they allow that, yeah, he'll beat the shit out of Povetkin. That or he gets disqualified, one or the other. Povetkin. Povetkin smash. That's what I call him. I call him Povetkin smash. Smoker equals struggle all day. Well, like Drago, like if Drago was like, now that's the type of dude I'd be like, hey, our guy could go to MMA like that. See, I'll have him go to MMA. You know. Well, I don't know now. I don't know now because they do USADA testing now in UFC, so I don't know. I don't think he'd be able to pass the test. But before the USADA testing, I would be like, yeah, our guy could go fight over there. I would literally take, you know, Rocky Balboa too. He had that streets. You know, he was a street fighter. Remember what Duke, the promoter, told Tommy Gunn? Don't fight a street fighter in the street. You know, Rocky Balboa did some pretty cool MMA moves in that movie, man. Like he tripped him, and he did the takedown. Like he had some MMA moves there, Rocky. All right. Rocky versus Drago in an MMA fight. Who would have won? I don't know. I think that's a question I ask myself. But what do you guys think? Who would win that fight? Rocky versus Ivan Drago in an MMA fight. Makes you wonder, has boxing lost a street fighter? Guys that start fighting in the streets and then decide, hey, I might as well get paid for this and hit a gym. There's been several of those in boxing history. All right, guys, any other questions? Is there no one else? Drago pre-USADA. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Rocky was literally like all natural, right? Shout out to 78. I remember he was like, the funny part about that movie is that in that movie, the one that was really juicing up was fucking Sylvester Stallone, man. He was the one juicing up. All right. But they make it seem like it was all natural. Like, he's running. No, notice what they did. Like, there was no training equipment. He's using rocks and chopping wood and running in the woods and in the snow and up in the mountains. They made it seem all pure and natural, right? Get it? And Drago was like in a facility, and the best part was like Rocky running, Drago getting a shot of steroids, Rocky climbing, and then the montage would switch to Drago, another shot of steroids, Rocky on top of the snow, dragging himself, forcing himself, and then the montage would switch to Drago, another shot, and then that shit, I'm like, come on, man. And we get it. The dude's on steroids, right? Yeah, Ms. Doc, I don't know them running in the snow, carrying logs. Yeah. Then a shot of Drago getting a shot. All right, Mr. Doc asks, should Chocolatito retire? I mean, that's up to him. I would like to see him to give it one more go. I would. I think he needs to have a big win in his weight class. Chocolatito needs a big win in that weight class. Even if it's a top 5 guy, and then retire. That's what I think. I think go out on top. He could go out on top. Maybe not on top as per se, but with a win. How about that? He go out with a win. To go out on top, he's gonna have to be the king of the division, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Right, it is getting pretty late over here, so I gotta wrap this up, guys. All right. Thanks for everybody that joined me here. This is DStyle. I'm out.